Good morning, everyone.
Morning, ma'am.
Morning, ma'am.
Okay, should we start?
Yeah, ma'am.
All right. In the last class, we had learned uh, the what is a network, and we had learned the various network topologies. Now, what are topologies? Whenever we are connecting the computers in a network, the geometric pattern that it creates, or the kind of physical connectivity that is done among them, is called as a topology. So we learned some popular topologies like ring topology or bus topology, hybrid topology, mesh topology, isn't it? So in today's class, we are going to learn about categories of network. See, in the last class, I had told you we can categorize or we can classify the networks based on the kind of connections, that is point to point network or a multi-point network. But it is also possible to categorize the networks, classify the networks based on the area covered, geographical area, how big your network is. Depending on that, also it is possible to classify your network or categorize your network. Okay. So if you all can see on the screen, I have put up one slide which is showing you how we can categorize the networks based on the area covered. Okay. Um, so on the left, there's a small table there which is showing two columns. On the left hand side, it is showing the distance covered, and on the right hand side, the what it would be covering, whether a room or a campus or so on. And then in the outside the table, it is written the type of network that gets created when that much amount of geographical area is covered. So if you all can see this diagram now, if we have a network which is a small network which is covering maybe two devices are being connected in within a range of 1 meter, okay, then it is called as a personal area network. For example, if your computer via Bluetooth, you are connecting it to your earphones, or maybe your via Bluetooth, you are transferring a file from your mobile phone to your computer. So your mobile phone and your computer, they are the two devices which are connected in using Bluetooth. And we all know their Bluetooth is a medium, Bluetooth is a protocol, and in that case the area covered is very very small. So if we want to transfer file from one device to another, we can make use of a very small area. The distance covered is very very small, for example 1 meter or so, then it is called as a personal area network. Okay. So in a personal area network, two devices are connected in a small area, like maybe 1 square meter. For instance, sometimes you try to transfer your files from your mobile phone to your computer via Bluetooth. That is the example of personal area network. Very small distance is covered there. But suppose your network grows in size, maybe it is up to 10 meters, or that is covering a room, or maybe 100 meters, maybe covering a building, or maybe up to 1 kilometer covering one campus. Then between 10 meters to 1 kilometer, if the range or the distance covered by the network is between 10 meters to 1 kilometer, then it's a small network which is generally referred to as a local area network. Okay. So we have a personal area network which covers a very small distance, a little larger, maybe a computer lab in one room, or maybe a few computer labs in one building, or maybe few buildings together in one campus, we are interconnecting them. So not very large geographical area, quite a restricted geographical area we have. That type of a network is called as a local area network. Then you have this next type of network where the area covered by the network is somewhere between 1 to 10 kilometers. Then it will be called as a metropolitan area network. For example, A metropolitan area network may cover a city or a part of a city which tries to connect computers or maybe other devices together. The best example of metropolitan area network is city cable. That is, you have cable TV where television, sets that are there at home, they are connected to a centralized service provider. Or maybe we can have a metropolitan area network of computers also. Computer networks can be interconnected in a metropolitan area network. But the area covered is somewhere between 1 kilometer to 10 kilometers. So it covers one city or maybe a town, then it is called as a metropolitan area network. When the metropolitan area network again grows in size and maybe it covers multiple cities or multiple states, covering a country or a continent or maybe the entire planet, in that case it will be called as the wide area network. Okay, generally it is called as a wide area network. Specifically, the kind of wide area network which covers the whole planet which we use nowadays is called as the internet is an example of wide area network. So if you have networks that span different countries, that interconnect different continents together, so you can communicate sitting on your computer with some other computer which is situated very, very far, maybe thousands of kilometers away it is situated, then it is called as a wide area network. So depending on the area covered, depending on the geographical area covered, we can categorize the networks as generally personal area network we don't consider. We can categorize it into three types. One is called as LAN, the second one is called as MAN, and the third one is called as WAN. Okay. Of course, we also have PAN, that is personal area network, but it covers a very small geographical area. Okay. So now we have three important types of networks: local area networks, metropolitan area networks, and wide area networks. That is LAN, MAN, and WAN. We have to learn all of these one by one. Now, local area networks are very small networks, maybe covering a room or maybe a building or a campus at the most. Okay. They can make use of both wired transmission medium, or they can make use of wireless transmission medium also. For example, in our college, we have both Ethernet LAN as well as we have Wi-Fi, wireless LAN. Okay. So in the last semester, you have learned this. If we have an Ethernet LAN, it is called as IEEE 802.3. And if it is a wireless LAN, generally the standard that is used is called as IEEE 802.11. So in a wireless LAN, if you all can see the first figure A, you have an access point and you may have wireless medium like maybe radio waves which interconnects many laptops, many computers together. And in case of a switched LAN or in case of a IEEE 802.3 LAN, that is a Ethernet LAN, you will have a hub like how we have it in our lab. There's a central hub to which multiple computers are connected. So you can interconnect multiple computers with the help of IEEE 802.3 switched LAN. Okay. Now this is another diagram which is showing you a LAN. If you all can see, multiple computers are connected to a hub. A hub is a switch which has got ports, and wires or cables from these machines are connected to the hub, and via the hub interconnectivity happens. For example, a computer A on first network wants to transmit something to computer say A on the second network. It will first be transmitted to the hub, and from there it will be routed or switched to the destination. So what are the advantages that we get with LAN? When we are interconnecting computers in a local area network, we get a lot of advantages. Especially, we can share resources. Like maybe we have a shared printer or maybe a scanner. Multiple computers could be there who can print on the same machine, on the same printer via LAN. You must have observed it in our computer lab also. You have one printer which is shared between all the machines. So once you give the print command, everybody's printing happens at the shared machine. That is possible because of the LAN. Otherwise, what happens, you have to connect, you have to specifically have a standalone machine which is connected to the printer. Every time you want to print, you have to take it in a pen drive, insert it into that machine, and then print it. Then it is not shared. But when you have a LAN, lot of resources like hard disk, maybe processors, or printers, or scanners, or maybe speakers, other accessories and devices which are connected, peripheral devices which are connected to a computer, they can be shared very easily with the help of a LAN. Moreover, with LAN, you may have a client server architecture, or you may have a peer-to-peer network. You can have backup plan. That is, if by chance one of the computer fails, or the server fails, then some other machine could take over, and maybe you can keep a backup on some other machine so that you get your data back in case of a crash or in case of a failure. Okay. Then we have.
Okay, ma'am. Metropolitan area network.
Is there a problem? Vinayak? Vinayak is there?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. What is the problem?
No, ma'am.
Make it a point to raise your hand and then ask me. Don't disturb in this.
Okay, ma'am. Sorry, ma'am.
If you have any doubt, you can just note it down. At the end of the class, we will discuss. You can also type your question in the chat box. I will try.
Okay, ma'am. Okay, ma'am.
But if you unmute yourself in the middle, then it's going to disturb it.
Okay, ma'am. Sorry, ma'am.
We have this next type of network, which is called as a metropolitan area network. If you all can see this diagram, it is trying to show you a metropolitan area network based on cable TV. Now, all of us have a cable TV, okay? Or I'm not talking about D2H, but we may have a local cable TV, city cable, what we call. Okay, a local provider, service provider is there. He gives connection for television channels to different houses. He may generally have one computer, or he may have a receiver where he's able to receive the signals, and then he distributes them among houses or among different computers. Okay, so if you all can see now, generally in a metropolitan area network, you have a common start point, which is generally called as a head end, and it is in turn connected to junction box. These junction boxes, you might find it generally, when we have a apartment, or when we have a locality. For one apartment or one locality, generally one junction box is fixed, and through that junction box, the transmission of signals happen. So you may have multiple computers or maybe television sets which are connected together to form a metropolitan area network. What you must be able to understand here is, in a metropolitan area network, the area covered is little larger. One more thing I want to tell you all here is, for just like LAN have a standard like Ethernet, or they may have a standard like Wi-Fi 802.11 Wi-Fi, what we call. Like that, for MAN also, IEEE had developed one standard which is called as DQDB, distributed queue dual bus. Okay, now this distributed queue dual bus that is there will allow transmission of data over multiple devices in a larger network. So a standard mechanism for transmitting the data in a MAN was developed by IEEE, and that was called as DQDB. Okay. Then when we have computers and networks which span larger areas, maybe thousands of kilometers, hundreds of kilometers together, then it gives rise to what we call as a MAN. WAN, wide area network. Okay, what is shown in this diagram is different computers connected in Australia, which are covering the whole of the continent. Okay, the whole of the country that is there. So there are a few computers in Perth, few more in Brisbane, a few more in Melbourne, and they are all able to communicate with transmission lines. And what is shown here as cross are the switches or the routers. So when long distance transmission has to happen, we have these specialized devices called as routers, which will work similar to switches. They will take the data over incoming line, find out the appropriate outgoing line by looking at the destination address and forward the data to the destination. So in when we have a larger network, then it will be called as a wide area network. What is shown in the diagram is a wide area network that connects 3 branch offices in Australia. So you can imagine a large corporate organization or maybe a very big company which has got many offices all over the country, and they are connecting them together. Here it is shown that 3 cities are connected together. Like that, you may think of a big company like Mahindra and Mahindra or Tata Sons, and then the different offices of Tata Sons being connected together to form a wide area network. Now, again, wide area networks can be private networks or they can be public networks. Now, what are private networks? Private networks are for use only, they can be used only by those companies. For example, imagine State Bank of India has got branch offices in different places. They can have their own private network. Only the employees and the authentic users of SBI will be able to use it. Outsiders will not be able to use it. So such a network which is private to an organization can be in the form of a WAN, or it could be a public network also, like the internet, World Wide Web. We can interconnect multiple devices around the world with the help of the internet. But internet is an example of public network, whereas on similar lines, we can have a private network which others cannot use. That is called as maybe sometimes, only those offices can use it. So that is called as a private network. Now, one thing that I want you all to observe in this diagram, in a wide area network, generally you have routers. Can you see in the diagram? You have routers and you have transmission lines. Can you all see these transmission lines which are shown in black color? Okay. So there could be multiple transmission lines that interconnect multiple routers together. That's why the data, when it has to be sent, it can be sent along alternative paths. These routers and transmission lines put together will form what we call as the subnet. Can you all see the subnet is shown in dotted line here? We have learned about the subnet in the previous semester also. What is a subnet? Subnet means sub-network, means part of a network. So your network could be very huge. A part of it which interconnects 3 routers and multiple transmission lines is called as a subnet. So when we have data to be sent over long distance, remote machines have to be connected. At that time, we require high-speed transmission lines, and we also require routers that can route the data to the destination. Okay, so here there's one more diagram where they have tried to show a switched WAN and a point-to-point WAN. Now, first of all, have a look at what is meant by a switched WAN. In a switched WAN, that is switched wide area network, you have a subnet. Can you see this oval? So this subnet is made up of routers, which are called as switches, and there are transmission lines, the connecting lines, which is shown in black color. They are the transmission line. So there, imagine we have 2 end systems, that is 2 machines, A and B. They want to communicate with each other. So how can they communicate? A will transmit the data to the nearest switch, which in turn will look into the destination address, may take the data along this path, forward it, and then transmit it to B. So this is one route. A to switch, then second switch. If you are able to see the mouse pointer here, this is another switch, this is another switch, this is another switch, and then finally to the destination. But there's an alternative path also. One more path is there. Instead of going along this path, data could be transmitted along this path. Okay. So in a switched LAN, the advantage that we have is multiple routers are there and multiple transmission lines are there. They are interconnected together and data can be sent along alternative path. Multiple point-to-point links are there. Can you see multiple point-to-point links? In the subnet, inside the oval, you have to see. Can you see this is one point-to-point link? This is another point-to-point link. This is another point-to-point link. This is another point-to-point link. Everybody is able to see? So we have many paths over which we can transmit the data. But the other way of transmitting the data is by creating so the first diagram is multi-point network and the second diagram is a point-to-point network. Now, what is there in a point-to-point network? You have an end system, like maybe a computer, which is connected to a modem. Then in turn is connected to a point-to-point WAN, which is not shown in this diagram. And then it goes to the other end, that is to the modem, and then to the internet service provider. ISP stands for internet service provider. So suppose you have, subscribed to Airtel, and Airtel is giving you internet at home, or you have subscribed to Jio. Okay, you have fiber net or something like that, and you are accessing the data via Jio. So from your computer, it may be connected to a modem. Through lease lines, it gets connected to the other end, to the modem, and in turn to the internet service provider server, that is maybe to Airtel server or maybe to a Jio server. Such a network which covers a big range, which covers a large geographical area, but it is connected via a point-to-point link, is called as a point-to-point WAN. So in a switched WAN, you have multi-point links, whereas in a point-to-point WAN, you have only single point-to-point link. All right. So I have told you 3 types of networks. First of all, we discussed that networks could be categorized based on the area covered as personal area network, local area network, metropolitan area network, and wide area network. But in exam, you need not write about personal area network. Only you should know what is meant by personal area network. Very small network with small distance is covered to transmit and receive the data. That is a personal area network. In general, we have local area networks, metropolitan area networks, and wide area networks. Okay. Can you all see this? There are 3 categories. So first of all, we discussed about LAN. LAN is a small network covering a small geographical area. It could be a wireless LAN or it could be wired LAN. If it is wireless LAN, generally 802.11, which we have learned in the previous semester, that standard is used. Otherwise 802.3, that is Ethernet standard, is used to transmit and receive the data. There are a lot of advantages we get with LANs. The most important advantage is we can share the resources of a computer. Then we have MAN. A little larger area is covered. Multiple locations could be covered in one city to transmit and receive the data. That is called as MAN. And when the distance covered is very large, it interconnects remotely situated computers from one end of the world to another end of the world, then it is called as a WAN. WANs could be private WANs or they can be public WANs. Example of public WAN is internet. Okay. WANs again can be categorized as switch WAN or a point-to-point WAN. In switched WAN, you have a subnet with multiple switches and multiple transmission lines, which may not be the case in case of point-to-point WAN. Nowadays, most of the organizations go for a switched WAN, okay, rather than point-to-point WAN. All right. So what I had to tell you, I have covered. You people just let me know if you understood what is taught today, and you enter your attendance in the chat box. If you have any doubts, you let me know. I will answer.
Ma'am, you're on mute.
Okay, you can hear me now?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Everybody has entered attendance? Do you have any doubts in what we learned today? Okay, now what I want you all to do today is, you have to write short notes
No, ma'am.
on LAN, WAN, and MAN. You already have, I think, written it in the previous semester also. You may have it in your notes, or you can refer to some online websites and try to make a short note of LAN, WAN and MAN. Will you do it?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Okay. Most probably, I will ask you to mail me your assignment very shortly. A few more questions I will add, and then I'll ask you to mail. But maybe in 1 or 2 days, you should be writing a short note on LAN, WAN, and MAN. Okay. Now, the next point I will be covering, that is cellular telephony. But before that, there's one point, 2 points are there in your syllabus. One is OSI reference model and the other one is TCP/IP reference model. Both of these we have learned in the previous semester, isn't it? And I have told you in detail about OSI and TCP/IP. Do you remember that? Sai Prakash?
Yes, ma'am.
Maitri? Both are
Yes,
not
ma'am.
there?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So, were you sleeping, Sai Prakash?
Yes.
Yes?
No, ma'am. My network is slow.
Okay. I
The
hope
network is
all of you are able to hear me. I hope that you remember we had learned OSI reference model and TCP/IP reference model. So, what I want you all to do is, I want you people to make a team of 3 to 4 in one group, and two groups can make a group presentation. One group should present OSI reference model, another group should present TCP/IP reference model, so that we will be revising. And as and how you present, I will also, in short, I will be telling you once again about OSI and TCP/IP. So I want to know if any students are interested to make this presentation. You can make a group presentation. You just have to sit in your own houses. You have to coordinate on phone, and one of you should make a PPT and you all should rehearse together on Zoom, and then you should present it to me and to others who are interested. Let me know. I want, it can be a group presentation. So one set of students, maybe girls can do OSI and boys can do TCP/IP. Pooja,
Yes, ma'am.
are you interested?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so will you make a small group of students?
Sure, ma'am.
Then you let me know in 1 or 2 days. Next week we will have the presentation. Next Thursday. Yeah, next Thursday.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, so you just let me know by tomorrow who are your friends who are interested to do the presentation. One thing I will assure is, whosoever does the presentation, I'll give them full internal marks. 20 out of 20 I'll give for if you do the presentation. Whatever you may score, but I will give you 20 out of 20 because you have done the presentation. So you can select, you can coordinate among your friends and you can decide who wants to make. You people, girls do OSI because it has got 7 layers, two layers each one can do. And boys, anybody is interested? Sai Prakash?
Yes, ma'am. I will do it.
Yeah, you coordinate with your friends. Say about 3 to 4 people in a small group can make one presentation. Your topic will be TCP/IP and Pooja, your girl's topic will be OSI reference model. It will be on Thursday, next Thursday, both of you. Okay?
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, we'll stop here and we'll continue in the
Yeah,
next
ma'am.
class. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.